Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Long Island Retro Gaming, and we have yet another Long Island Retro Gaming pickup for you today. My name is Mike Staub. I am here with Long Island Retro Gaming's chief preservationist, Mr. George Portugal. George,
Yes.
This thing rules. How are you, my friend? Welcome
good.
back.
How are you?
I'm good. I get excited when I see old Nintendo stuff because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I'm sorry. It's how it is. I was born in '86. That's what happened.
Me too, man.
So we have a wonderful piece with us here today. We have the Panasonic Q, which was only released in Japan in 2001, and it is a joint venture between Nintendo and Panasonic to create a more media center focused GameCube.
That's right.
About that?
Yeah, that's right. So, at the time in the early 2000s, combining video game consoles with a multimedia kind of center was a new idea that was just taking hold, and it was very effective. I mean, nobody demonstrated that better than Sony when they generated the PlayStation 2, which for a lot of people, and myself included, that was my main DVD player because it was just so cheap and easy to get a PS2. It could play your CDs, it could play DVDs, and then of course it played amazing video games, and so you could have this one thing in your setup that did so much. And so Nintendo, I think, kind of realized this a little bit late. So with the standard GameCube, you have a console that works with mini DVDs, and so they did that partially as a anti-piracy measure, so that you couldn't just burn GameCube games to a DVD and go to town with it. But also, I think they just didn't quite realize the value of having this multimedia center combined with, not right away.
Yeah, it took them a while, and at that point in time, there was actually a major selling point for the PS2 was that it was like the cheapest DVD player on the market at the time.
Yeah, it was.
So when the GameCube came out with these tiny mini DVDs, didn't play actual DVDs, didn't play movies, didn't play CDs. It was purely a gaming console with it didn't even have any sort of real network adapter.
Not at first.
Not at first until they eventually had to make one. I really put the GameCube behind the 8-ball, and the PlayStation kind of just steamrolled everything else.
Everybody.
Because, it did so much and also had great games. Like, you can't just be... We've had experiences in the past where we've seen some of these more multimedia-centric consoles like the CDI that were flops. But with the PS2, that was kind of one of its biggest strengths. So Nintendo eventually pairs up with Panasonic to create this device, and it is your standard GameCube. But you can play DVDs, as you can see here, and you can actually use the buttons on top to control your DVD or your CDs. You can actually switch between game modes. It's a really nice piece, and because it's such a multimedia-centric machine, it actually allows you to hook it up easily to like a surround sound system.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It looks good, sounds good, but since it was only released in Japan, it currently can only play Japanese games.
Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and just take a closer look at this thing, and I can kind of walk you through some of its various features and just show you in better detail. Alright, so here we've got the front panel of the Panasonic Q, and you can see there's quite a lot of different features here, some of which pertain to the Panasonic Q and some don't. What's really cool is that when you're in GameCube mode, these backlit little blue LEDs pop up, and the fan will click on, telling you that you're in GameCube mode. And so this button here just lets you toggle between DVD and GameCube, which is what we're in right now. If you click this, you get surround sound from your GameCube. So there's a second set of ports on the back for your back speakers, and so you'll have your two front stereo speakers and then your two back speakers as well. So that's really nice. You can enhance bass with this button right here. Some of these pertain to DVD only, so it has this dialogue enhancer in cinema mode, and that's all specifically for the DVD side of things. And then if you hit game reset, it'll reset the console. You've got your memory card slots. That's exactly the same as a standard GameCube. And then if you come up over here onto the top panel, you'll see a whole bunch of controls here. And so if I just push this button here, it'll turn off GameCube mode, and now we've switched into DVD mode. And so it's basically asking, like, please insert your disc, and so you can, open and close the system. And if you're playing a CD, you can control your tracks right over here by skipping through and fast forwarding and rewinding. This thing also has a remote control. Unfortunately, we don't have one of those, but that's obviously how most people would use it. They could sit on their couch and control this remotely. And this little area over here, this is actually the IR sensor for the remote control. So that's basically how that works. Let me flip over the console here so you guys can take a look at the back, because the back is pretty busy. So like I was telling you before, here's the ports for the surround sound. So the top two here, this is for your front stereo. These back two here are for the back stereo. I've worked with many other people who have had Panasonic Qs with issues, and they'll tell me, oh, it's got no sound, and it's because they're plugging into these back sound ports, and they don't have the surround sound on. You've got your composite video over here. You've got your S video back there. You've got digital audio right here, although I think this is only for the DVD mode. And then finally, you've got your digital AV out, and so this is the same as the digital port that you find on like older style Gamecubes. So you can take a device like the Carby and plug that in here and get direct HDMI out from your Gamecube. Or if you're lucky or rich, you can have those Gamecube component cables, which cost a good $300 or so as of filming this, and you can get high quality component from this port as well. If I had the chance to take this thing apart, you'd see that it's really just a stock Gamecube at the bottom. It's kind of like a layer cake. So at the very lower stack here, you've got a stock Gamecube, and it's only different with an adapter board for that digital port and an adapter board for the analog audio and video. On the side over here, it's got a massive circuit board, and this is what's used for controlling the DVD side of things. And then its DVD drive is also quite massive, and it has 3 or 4 different layers to it as well. If you want to see what this thing looks like, you know, in better detail, definitely go and check out some of my older Fix It Friday videos, because I've fixed a couple of these in the past, and I've done modifications to these in the past, and you can see that in really excruciating detail. I think something I'm considering doing with this thing, which I may do, is, I mean, as it is right now, it's cool, but because it's Japanese region only, you know, it's not that great in the sense that we'd have to get a whole bunch of Japanese games, or limits what we can do with it. Whereas, you know, like with the Expo itself, we have a, you know, large library of GameCube games. And so what I may do is internally modify this so that the GameCube boots in a USA NTSC mode. And so then that would be very convenient, because then we could simply just pop in games and then just, you know, play them, and that would be the end of that. That may or may not happen. It's something I'm still debating. But one way or another, we'll have this out at the next show so that you guys can see it for yourself and interact with it and have fun.
Yeah, and that's all it's about, right? So, George, thanks again for bringing this piece in and showing us a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
As always, continue to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff on all of our videos, because we have a lot of great stuff coming your way in the near future. And once again, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah,
and thank you,
absolutely.
George. Have a good one, everyone.
See you guys.